Hi, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, from wherever you're watching us from. Today is very good for all of us, and I welcome you to this important discussion today, also teaching. Many people have been talking about difference between servant leadership and any other form of leadership, and why always people talk about servant leadership and why it is important. This is a very long discussion. When we talk about servant leadership, it's timeless concept of leadership, but I want to talk about very few things and just introducing to you what servant leadership is all about and why it is important. Number one, I want to talk about servant leadership is you aspiring to be a servant before becoming a leader. Now it begins by aspiring to do what? To serve, then you become a servant. Now this is from Robert Greenleaf, who came up with, who wrote an article in the year 1972. We talk about servant leadership. Now, for you to become a servant leadership, you must aspire. You must first aspire to become a servant, then you serve. So that is what matters in servant leadership. Now, servant leadership primarily focuses on empowering your followers or your juniors on how to become, to focus on their leadership skills in achieving organizational goals. So what does that mean? It means that as a leader or as a servant leader, you're working towards achieving a goal. But now, how are you doing this? You're doing this by supporting your followers, by supporting your juniors on how to become a better person. Now, a servant leader focuses on how the followers are going to become good leaders, on how their followers are going to become better persons, on how now the followers are going to be responsible for themselves. And therefore, it makes it important that a servant leader does not focus on himself. It surpasses self-interest. So if you want to be a servant leader, you have to put your interest aside and have an interest to the people, showing empathy to the people that you are leading. When you do that, people become more powerful, people become more comfortable to do their duties because they have support of the person. They're making decisions, they can make good decisions, knowing the person who is the leader behind them and supporting them. Now, servant leadership is about focusing on empowerment, focusing on goodwill, focusing on possibilities of the juniors. That's what servant leadership is all about. So it gives us an ability to have understanding of the people we are leading with, and to make them lead properly. So this also gives us an ability to have leaders empowering the people to be able to make decisions from where they work from. Now, ensuring that decisions are made from where work is being done. So it helps us do all these things in a very, very easy and meaningful way. So leadership, where a leader is being guided by interest of others or interest of his followers, is a very good leadership sign. It's an organization that leads properly, where everybody has got the ability to express themselves, the ability to do what is right for them, where every person has a right to ask a question. There are leaders whom you cannot even ask a question. There are leaders who cannot even challenge. But when you become a servant leader, it means you are able to listen to the people. They're able to ask you questions. They're able to challenge your point of view in a very respectful way, and you're able to also listen to their food of thought. So if you become all that, it means you become a leader who is able to achieve the goals. So as I was being asked to do about this, I was wondering, but who are asking and what kind of leadership style are you express? So as a person, as you are listening to me, maybe you are a leader of an organization, you are a church leader, for example, you are you are a father in a church, or you are a father at home, you are a pastor, you are a bishop, reverend, such kind of things. You are leading a church, you are leading an organization, you are a CEO, you are an MD, a managing director somewhere, you are a director or maybe of any organization, and you are an HR. how is your leadership style? How do you maneuver with your people? Do they they have confidence to work with you? Are you empowering to see how they're moving with their health standards? So because as servant leaders see on how people are moving on, you see, you're focusing on the health of your people, knowing that you care for them, you become a servant leader. So a servant leader also does not really is not determined actually by how they have maneuvered on all the work they've done, but they're determined by on how they have made people or their followers to do some job, to succeed on some of the work. So if you are a manager, for example, there are people who are going to work around you, so the success of them is going to be pinned on you. This is the thing that many people have always forgotten. They think when their followers succeed, it is not about them. But a great servant leader will be determined by how many people he has brought up, how many people have succeeded on his watch. Okay? So when you have leaders or your followers who you have empowered very well, they know what they're doing, they are good at what they're doing, you have coached them to do what they are doing. When that one is seen, people will see a leader from whom the followers is attached to. When I come to an organization and I see how the juniors from that organization work and how they do the things, what I think about is how a leader has done much work. So when I go to an organization to train, to talk about leadership, the first thing I see is how are the juniors going to be conversing with me? How are they going to do their things? How are they going to explain to me on how they run the organization? How are the juniors going to express their understanding of the organization? When I see that the juniors have got the ability to express themselves, they are able to speak well and understand the duties and responsibility more often. If I see the leaders and the young people on that organization or the followers of that organization are of good health and of good mastery of the leadership, then I know that the leader of that organization has done much things. I'll be able to understand that the leader is a servant leader who has been able to give their followers an opportunity. But when I come to an organization when the leader wants to say everything and all the time, when I see that juniors or the followers are not having that confidence to ask questions in the presence of their leader, then that have always given me a question mark that tells me, there's a problem here with leadership. There's a problem here that a leader maybe is not willing to be a friend to his followers. A leader is not focusing on the interest of their followers, but focusing on the interest of himself. He wants to be seen as a person, a leader who is resourceful. He wants to be seen as a leader who does much work. He wants to be seen as a leader who does more work compared to others. And many people have had a problem with the unknown issues. The fear of unknown has made people not become servants. Some leaders have thought, okay, when I train these people, they may come and take my place. When I empower these young people, they are going to be higher than me. They are going to be better than me. This have always been a fear of unknown. Do not ever worry as a leader on what people are going to have in their life. No matter what you do, if people have to succeed in their lives, they are going to succeed. And there's no leader who is going to stop people from succeeding. If you think they're going to be better than you, trust me, they're going to be better than you even if you don't train them. Anyway, why should you have persons or people in your circle or as a leader who does not do well or who does not have proper mastery of leadership? Just because you think they're going to be better than you, and therefore they drain your leadership. Therefore, you realize they are not going to do well. They are not going to have professionalism in their work, in their line of work. So when I come, or when you want to now for example, to audit the leadership or the performance of the organization, realize that you're not performing as a leader. Then you realize that you are going to, this is something I once met when we were talking about leadership in one of the organizations, is that a leader complaining that he was not able to achieve his goal because he have had a very difficult followers. And I wonder, how can a follower become difficult? Somebody says that you have not been given the followers or the juniors whom he has been given to work with, or the colleagues he has been given to work with, are not acquainted to the work. And the question that I ask is that, what have you done to ensure that they are acquainted to the work? What have you done to ensure that they love their work they're doing? Because as a leader, you have got responsibility to ensure that your colleagues understand what they do. You teach them, you coach them and all that. You make them love what they do because they see how you're going to be working with them. You help them to have the confidence to ask questions and also giving answers. So the principle of servant leadership is important. It's a kind of a philosophy of leadership that is important, that has been there for a very long time. It is really timeless. And therefore, your principle, principles that guides you, or the principles that guide you, are going to be important in ensuring that your leadership as a servant is going to be of excellence and of good standard. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a tip that I'm giving you just to introduce to you what we are going to be talking about in all our videos because of the leadership. Now, this is one of the things we are going to work on. So, leadership that is based on servantship, or that is based on servanthood, is a leadership that has always excelled. So, for we to have also as a servant leadership, when you articulate your principles, your goals to the people, they're able to come up together as they know you are working together. So we will talk about this and talk about some values. There are some 4 values that work well in a servant leadership. Now, don't go away as we embark on these 4 values. I want to take a break, and I want you to be meditating upon yourself, meditating, looking on how you lead. Do people in your circle grow? Do they grow? Are your followers growing? Are they becoming healthy? Do you have emotional growth? Do you have mental growth? Do you have professional growth? Do they have mastery? In your watch, do they grow in a manner that they understand what they're supposed to do? So if this is happening, then you are a servant leader. But if there's a problem in growth, people are not growing as in your watch. Every time people are derailed, people feel, I can't do this. Every time people feel you are a bother to them, then there's a problem. No, you need to work out. And for you to know this, watch in the second video on the 4 values of a servant leadership. Thank you for watching. Don't always forget to subscribe on my YouTube channel and click on that bell for more videos. God bless you.